Ah. Hmm. Okay. Maybe that works. It's closed. Good. Really. Oh, goodness. Hello. I think I might have someone here. Hello, witches and magical kindreds. I'm Kim, and it's such a pleasure to welcome you to a special live session here on the Way of the Witch. Today we're going to have a real-time chat about a topic that's close to my heart, the art of creating a new book of shadows versus rekindling one that you've allowed to quietly fade away. Hi, Journal Eclectique. Hello. Welcome, welcome. It's so great to have you here, and I hope others will join us so that we can really have a good conversation about this. If you're joining or you join in a few minutes, please feel free to drop your questions and comments in the chat as we go along, and I'll do my best to address them throughout our discussion. What I'm going to do is record this, or at least save it, and have it published as a video that can be watched later, because I want to specifically talk about this guide that I've created. A little history. As some may know, I launched this channel a little over a year ago, and my very first video was all about creating a new book of shadows. In fact, this book of shadows. It's incredible to see how far I've come since then. In that video, I shared my favorite tips and tricks, or at least a couple of my favorite tips and tricks for crafting a truly magical book. And it's been really, really fun. I'll show you. I'll do a quick flip through. I got this book, and I've posted before on Amazon. I added this little charm. I believe this came in a Witch's Moon, maybe the herb box, Witch's Roots box. So I just added it to this. And then the very first video that I did for this channel was when I started this Book of Shadows. And you can go back and look through it if you'd like, but this page actually has invisible ink, and I am happy to show you it. I used this page to enchant this book. I wrote out a spell in invisible ink as well as painted in. Let's see if I can make this so you can see. I hope this is showing up. Also created some sigils, that kind of thing. And I use invisible ink throughout my pages, often to write in charms, to draw in some sigils, protection sigils, etc. This cover page for the book, or I guess title page for the book, I also wrote in my magical name in invisible ink, as well as, you know, painted this. I showed you how I did that in that first video. This is a section cover page, and I just put in September. I wrote some notes that serve as a sort of incantation or blessing for the season as we move forward. This was my working altar at the time. I still use some of these things. Oh, hi. Let me see. Journal Éclectique. I have a problem with my BOS. I can't seem to feel satisfied with the simple one. I want to make an artistic BOS, but I can't draw. Then I keep a record of my stuff on my iPad. Not easy. You know what? I hope that this can help you. So some of my, let me just skim through some of the rest. One of the things that I like to do in my Book of Shadows is keep a consistent font, and I show you how I do that. You might try that as well. So this PDF that I want to offer my subscribers and viewers, anybody that wants one, in fact, all you have to do is email me. I went back and forth for a while because I put a lot of work in this. It's 40 pages. That's just on one side. I suppose if you print it front and back, you'll have 20. But the reason I printed it on one side is because I encourage you to cut out pieces of this. And we'll go through this in just a second, briefly through this. But you can cut it out, and you can resize images, resize the fonts. You can paint them or color them, and then you could tape them, glue them into your Book of Shadows, or use my little trick of using transfer paper to transfer whatever it is you want into the book and then paint or color it with that. You could print it as many times as you want. The only thing that I ask of people is that you don't take it and alter it and then go sell it as your own. This is, you know, it's supposed to be a tool to help you. So I was going to say, so one of the things I wanted to talk about was either reviving a Book of Shadows or starting a new one. Give me just a minute. I want to grab my water. Thank you. Hi, Strawberry. How are you? Yes, it's been weeks since I've posted a video, so I'm so glad to see you here. I was just talking about starting a new book of shadows versus reviving an older one or one that you never completed. As you guys know, some of you may know, life takes unexpected turns. I got a little off track with this first book when I began a new job. And then earlier this year, I started creating this book of Genus Loci and just got sort of caught up in doing that. If you follow along, you know that my recent videos have been about spreads in this book. So, here's the twist. Instead of jumping into creating a new book of shadows, because I really love this one and I love where I started with it, I've decided to revive it. The magic is still alive in this page, and I'm in this book, and I want to, continue with it until I have it full. It's a process, and I have many books that I had started and never finished, but this book is different, as is this one. I like them both. They're different purposes. So when I was considering reviving this book, I thought about creating this guide to perhaps help people who want to create a new one or just want some new ideas. And this is particularly a Samhain edition, Halloween edition, spooky season edition. I have a quick introduction. I talk about what it means to practice the ways of the witch during Halloween, Samhain, spooky season. I talk about how to get started, how to use this guide. I have some content ideas that you may be interested in. I have a list of supplies that are all just, suggestions. You don't need everything. It's just ideas. And then I also have mixed in printables where you can print this out. You could resize it. Like I said, you could cut it out, glue it straight into your book, or use this as a font. If you don't like this font, you can, here's the thing. Go on Word or Pages or Canva, whatever. Actually, Word works just fine if you have it. Pick out a font that you like. Write out what you want, October, in that font. Print it out, and there you go. So this may not be your aesthetic, right? And that's fine if it isn't. If it is, feel free to use it. I give you a little information about the 13 moons, and then I made a printable moon label. Again, a little information about the Sabbats, and Esbats, and then created some labels for them as well. I added some more different sizes, just ideas. Again, you may think of something that you want. If you have a font that you want to use in particular, you might take that tip. As I said, I created or listed out some basic correspondences of animals, flora, and fauna that then I created coloring pages for, or printables. So you can shrink this down and put this in your book. You could trace it in there and then paint it or color it or use coloring pencils or markers, whatever you want to do. Or like I said, cut it out. I gave you a little label for it. So there's pages for all of the animals that I mentioned. And then some flora and fauna. I put in a simple spell template so that you can write in any spell work that you're doing during this season. I put in an ancestor spread for tarot that you can use and record into your Book of Shadows. I created a list of spooky movies just for fun. 31 in fact, and these are all movies that I've seen, all movies that I enjoy. They're for the most part pretty family friendly and funny, or they could be mildly spooky, or some can be quite spooky. So, beware. I put in some books and decks that I like to use in this season. Book of Shadows by Phyllis Carrot, Witches of East End by Melissa Dela Cruz, The Bloody Chamber by Angela Carter, The Book of the Great Queen by Morpheus Ravenna, and then tarot decks, the Halloween Tarot, the Future Ancestor Tarot, and these are all decks that I use, by the way. I particularly love this Future Ancestor Tarot. You can use anything. I just am giving recommendations. I also made a quick little witchy self-care page for you. And that's it. Thank you. And a copyright disclaimer on the back. And that's the guide, and it's all yours for free. Like I said, just email me. I'll put my email in a link, as a link in the description box below. And I'll send it right out to you. Let me see what everybody is saying. Journal says, and I'm very frustrated with sectioning a book like yours. How many pages to save for each? You know what? Yes. And so one thing I talk about in here is my approach to a Book of Shadows. Frankly, if I want a reference guide that's sectioned out like an encyclopedia, I have some amazing guides like that have already been written, right? I don't want, for my Book of Shadows, I want it to be super personal. And I want it to mean something. So if I'm going to put correspondences in my Book of Shadows, I want to put them in as they relate to me or how I've used them in my practice. Therefore, I think for me, the best way is just to create it, understand it by time, by season, and as it goes through the year. So there's not just one section for the season of Orphan Dreams, right? Because I started with that and I did not end, like I said, I never finished it. So if I'm starting again, then maybe it's a nod to the season of Orphan Dreams. I put in, 2023, right? And then I put in those pages, and as I go through, once this book is done, I can flip through knowing that this is the past, right? Past seasons that I've worked through. This is the more current. But you know, what's kind of cool about that is that you can be like, you know, remember that manifestation spell I did, you know, at Samhain in 2022? Let me go back and look at that, or look at the messages I got from my ancestors at that time. It becomes more of a, I guess, magical journal than a magical reference. Though you would have references, particularly to that season, right? Some pages I never finished. I mean, look at that, completely blank. However, I can easily go in and write about that. Now, if you want to be real specific, if you want to have a table of contents, I would totally do a like a binder and have removable pages. Or they make, I've seen books where they make them where they have like, I don't even know what they're called. They're like little round discs, and you can even buy the cutter for the edge of the paper so that it clips in with those discs, so that you can really make it, you can use like good art paper and make your own book that way. You could do like a traveler's notebook where they're not, the pages are, you can easily pull them out. It really is all up to you. I think to get through a book, you just have to keep going, even if time lapses. Let's see. Strawberry said the same. This guide seems so helpful. We'll make one for each holiday. Yes, Strawberry. I was thinking about doing memberships for my channel and having the lowest tier membership be that you get a guide, and maybe it's not 40 pages, right? Because some of the stuff I'm not going to need to include with every guide. But maybe it's mainly printables for each moon. So once a month, membership tier gets a PDF, and that's the lowest tier, so all tiers get it. And then maybe the next tier up would be that we do a tutorial video working through, or a book of shadows along with me. You know, create your book of shadows, make pages along with me for that specific guide. So yeah, I'm thinking about how to do that. I like creating stuff like this. My background is graphic design, and you know, I just think it's fun to have a printable, particularly for people that don't necessarily consider themselves very arty, but you want something, you know, that's arty and personal. Then, you know, this way you can kind of make it that way. You know, you could size down this spider and make it small, and then you could paint him all in black or gold, or all different colors. You could use it throughout your book of shadows. You know what I mean? Like, you could really use this to make your book very arty and, you know, how you want it. I'm just looking at this thinking, I need to finish this. This is a great basis for this mythic map. Let me see what else. Oh my God, yes, free, absolutely free. Would you recommend having a BOS that you can bring with you and update with thoughts and pictures and similar thing? Because I see making a spread in the BOS almost like a sacred moment. Yes, I do. You know what? I have like a notebook where I kind of try out these ideas, right? Like of what it is I'm going to turn into a spread. So for example, like I said, I do a lot of work with mythic work, with stories, fairy tales, the dreamscape, sort of Jungian tarot, lots of that kind of mythic images and iconography. So one of the stories that we were reading at one time was The Voyage of Bran, and I'm just sort of telling that story in here, and I knowing that I'm going to end up translating this to my Book of Shadows. Same with like exploring alternate timelines. You know, a lot of this ends up just being a notebook where I am trying to figure out what it is I want to say in my Book of Shadows. So this is just a cheap little book that I got from Michael's. It has just dotted pages, but the paper's pretty good. I've actually done watercolor in this, and it hasn't been too bad. But for the most part, this one, I just use different pens, and sometimes I'll paste stuff in, right? So that I can get an idea of how I want to lay out my book. Let's see. Light bulb moment. Oh, good, journal. But I know that some people see it as a place to just collect thoughts and poems and drawings, etc. And I think that's amazing. You know what? I think that's super magical. I mean, for me, weaving magic and art together is a practice. It is something that's very witchy. I know people talk about that all the time, the art witch. I wouldn't say that I'm an art witch, but I get a lot of moments when I'm creating where I feel very connected to certain energies, depending on what I'm creating. So yeah, I totally get it as a place to collect thoughts and poems and drawings, etc. Absolutely. Hello, Kara. I'm so glad to see you. I like your latest video. I was just watching it before I went live. It's so cute. I love that, making that Halloween, what was it, like the little cage with the plant? So cute. With, oh God, what is his name? Seymour? Wee Toby. That's right. You guys, if y'all don't know Pagan Crafting, I highly recommend you jump over there and check her out. Woman after my own heart, creator, art, writing, video, all of that, witchy, all of that. Love, love, love her channel. It is amazing and so fun and inspirational. So highly recommend checking her out for sure. What else was I going to tell you about this? Really, I was going to keep it short and sweet and just say, hey, if you want this guide, Cara, you know, I was kind of struggling with this. I was like, oh, should I just put this out there? Should I start it as membership? Should I sell it on Etsy? And in the end, I decided if I wait any longer, Samhain will have come and gone. So I'm just going to offer this for free, telling you that, yes, I am going to be setting up membership And we'll be doing some guides like this each moon, for each moon. And it's just, hopefully they're helpful. Hopefully you enjoy it. Just email me and I will send you the link and you'll be able to download and enjoy. Oh, thank you, Cara. Yes, I love doing watercolor. I love doing gouache. I've been doing mainly gouache in this the little book of Genus Loci that I've been creating. I haven't gotten too far. I'm super slow at painting, and I just take my time. I work a lot, so I only have so many hours in the day. I actually skipped a page here. The reason I skipped that page, I was thinking I might glue that down because that kind of came through. This is a thinner page. And then I was working on this Century Cacti page, which I'm not even done, even close. And I swear I've been working on this for a month. This is small. You see how small it is. But I have so many more pages I want to put in here. What else? I think the future, maybe having memberships could be a good idea for your channel. Thank you, Strawberry. I am hoping so. I really do. I mean, listen, I love this channel. I love making videos. I wish I were better at and more consistent at doing them once a week, but it's a lot of work. And I actually have 2 channels, and getting out a video a week is not working out. Hey, while we're at it, I thought I'd share a couple of things, and it may be I'm just reading the chat. This may be an idea, something that you can do. You know what I did last night? I woke up yesterday and I thought, I need to make this specific meal for dinner tonight. And it didn't even occur to me what was going on. I just wrote down the list of stuff I wanted to get, ran off and got it. And then when I was setting up my mise en place, I realized that this was an ancestor meal. And this was a meal, very, very Southern, for poor Southern people, which is how I grew up. What did I do? I did beans and greens and cornbread, essentially. So pinto beans, collard greens, and the way my grandmother used to make them, hoe cakes, which is cornbread made like a pancake. So you have your cast iron skillet, and if it's one that's been passed down through the generations, even better. And you get your pancake batter and you just drop it in and do like little cornbread cakes or hoe cakes, or God knows what else other people call them. But it was, oh, and a really good sliced tomato. The only thing that was missing, which my grandfather loved, was buttermilk, which I can't even with that. So that was not there, although I could have bought some and set it at the table for that. Anyway, this is a Book of the Dead that I started probably this time last year. Was it this time last year? Yeah, when I started this channel. So, in fact, I think I have a video of this where I'm making it. This is just a little papyrus book. The paper is thin and not great, but I basically put in pictures of my family that have come before me. And I'm kind of going through it fast because some of the stuff, you know, I don't need the whole world to know, right? It's not finished. And maybe I will begin writing any messages that I get in here, in between adding, you know, God forbid I'd have to add anybody else. to this from my family, right? And then one of the decks that I recommended on my recommended page is the Future Ancestor Tarot. And this is Art and Words by Lexa Luna Studio. This is one of my favorite ancestor decks. I've shared it here before. I may have even done an unboxing of this video. I act like I have hundreds of videos. On this channel, I think it's only 45. But this deck, I just absolutely love the artwork, the style, the aesthetic, the color palette, the images, the cards are really just beautiful. And for me, they read really well when I want to do an ancestral reading. And in fact, that ancestor reading that I suggested in here works so well with this deck. I just love it. Now is the time, 'tis the season, right? Yes, I did make some videos about this. Thank you, Strawberry. I did. You know what? I should link them. When this video wraps up, I'll just link some of those videos that I was talking about in here. But I'll put in my email address, and I believe it's thewayofthewitch@outlook.com. Don't quote me on. Let me find out which one it is. I have so many email addresses I can't remember, but I'll post that there. But that's it. That's all I got. Not a whole lot. We're getting ready for Halloween. It's on a Tuesday this year, so I think we're going to stick close to home instead of going out with my little nieces. I have a lot of work to do at this time of year, so I'm taking advantage whenever I have time to rest and just nurture myself. That is what I do. I like to do. I have been trying to work my way through all of these spooky movies that I shared. Again, I've seen, like I said, I've seen them all. Some of these are hilarious. They go from 1942 to 2022. And what did we watch? Oh, actually one that I don't have on here. We watched last night, Shaun of the Dead with Simon Pegg. It's hilarious. If you haven't seen it, it's pretty funny. But yeah. Let's see. What are you saying, Strawberry? This book inspired me to dedicate some pages. Oh, that's great. Yes. Yeah, you know what? I find just scanning a picture and printing it out works fine for books like this. I don't need an actual photo in there. In fact, I prefer to have that thin paper. It makes it easier. It doesn't bulk up the book too much. So yeah, I think it's just, you know, a nice little, I don't know. I find it to be a nice little sort of remembrance on my ancestors' altar. And, you know, we can take a page from Coco. Did I put that on here? I hope I did. On my list. Have y'all seen that movie? It's so cute. I don't think I did. I didn't. How dare I? Oh, well. If you haven't seen it, it's really cute. It's on Disney. Coco. They talk about Dia de los Muertos, Day of the Dead, which I believe starts November 1st through the 3rd or something like that. I don't want to practice appropriation, cultural appropriation. I honor that belief system for sure, and that's not what I'm doing here. This is just a Book of the Dead. And I think that many cultures have kept these types of records. So that's all this is. But when we remember them, they stay alive, right? Their memory is alive with us. So that's what I like about that. Well, you guys, I thank you so much for showing up today, for watching this video. Just email me. I'll send you a copy out. I'll be checking my email. I'll make sure that I post the correct email address. If you look on I think it's on my About page, it has my email address there as well for this channel. So, happy Halloween. Happiest and blessed Samhain. I will see you next time. Take care. Bye. If I can figure out how to turn it off. It's terrible, you guys. Oh.